Welcome to the Four Brewers Podcast. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I am joined by
Jason Harris.
And it's Christmas, Michael McDonald.
Greg Nagel.
Greg Nagel. It probably sounds very, very weird to people that don't know what we're referring to, but it's Michael McDonald we were talking about, and actually jamming out to Michael McDonald just before the show started.
It's a pre-show
So
holiday
good.
jam.
Yeah, we're getting into the Christmas mood with Michael McDonald, and that guy sounds. It's amazing that dude has a career. Like,
It's such a stupid
it's so bad.
See, like the dirty
dancing.
dancing song. What was the dirty dancing one? That was it's the
He had a song on Dirty Dancing.
yeah, isn't it like it's a duet? It's a duet. Shit, I don't remember, but
Are you thinking of the one that Patrick Swayze sings?
yeah, I think so.
No, that's Patrick Swayze singing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Man,
Well, now you got me trying to figure that out.
different
It's,
rabbit hole.
oh God, it's I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
same.
definitely Patrick. I think Patrick Swayze sang and wrote that song.
Dang.
She's like the wind. Yeah, that song.
No,
Okay. Well, that's the song I'm thinking of. She's
All
like
right.
the wind.
it'll come to me. I'll start. I'll just bust into it like, as soon as it pops in my head.
Maybe he is on the soundtrack. I don't know. But so we're doing our holiday show. It's the beginning of December. It's December 4th. And we're getting in the holiday mood here in California where it's currently 70 degrees, clear skies. I'm wearing a sweater just because, fuck it, it's our Christmas show. I'm all festive and I have a green hat and stuff. I really like my sweater. It says, the war on Christmas is not real. That's my holiday sweater that I'm wearing. So,
Dang it.
anyway.
Dude, Ballast Point sent me the dopest sweater in the world, but it's large, and
I'll take it.
I don't know if you can tell these days, but I don't fit in a large. I tried to put it on, and was like the sleeves come up halfway to my forearms.
Well, you're not that big. Like, I think it'd be snug, but that sounds like
don't
it's
know,
just
man.
extra. It's like a medium large
It's a
instead of
tight-
a large
yeah,
large.
It's like a slim fit sweater for those Ballast Point bros. But apparently today they had some special beer release they wanted to promote, and I totally spaced on it until right the second.
Oh,
That's a bummer.
shit.
So yeah, I didn't make it to the store. I went to the shitty Chevron station down the street to see if maybe they had one of the beers that Greg picked up, which he got peppermint bark from Yeti. It's their peppermint Christmas version of Yeti, Great Divide's Yeti.
Yeah, man.
And they had the macaroon cookie Yeti, which I thought, oh, that's close enough, but it's from April. And I'm just like, well, I don't need to be, I'm not going to do that. It'd probably be fine, but, with stouts that have adjuncts, those things tend to fade over time. And I said, whatever. So I bought a 6-pack of Buena Vesa from Stone Brewing Company because it's refreshing, and I'm going to be working in the garage later on after the podcast. So
There you go. And by the way, the song is...
I got a bunch of beer from my cellar that I'm cracking open for good or for bad. And Jason's got some classics, I think, for the most part.
I could have bought this lineup 10 years ago.
No doubt.
And I'm kind of excited about that. It's Jason's throwback Christmas jams. Although
Nice.
some of
like
these,
it.
I think
It's like
some
an
of
old
these
mixtape.
beers are actually new, but like the breweries and stuff are very old school.
Oh shit! Like, I mean, come on. There's the Brewery's 12 Days of Christmas I totally spaced on that.
Shit, I got a bunch of those.
Yeah,
John,
so
open
do
a
I.
partridge. Fucking do it.
Still not gonna. I think no. We actually did open that. We opened it on that when I had that run at my house for the Mickler Running Club.
Oh, no
So,
shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was good. I do have a brewery beer that is coming up from my cellar. It's actually from the original release of the 12 beers of Christmas. But before I get to that, I have a beer that Stone sent us, and we've had our issues with Stone over the
Joko?
last couple of years. But this beer, much like when they sent their black IPA, this beer stands out. This is their Joka Vesa. This one's with Tres Leches.
I
So
will
it's-
say, I was tempted to buy Stone for the first time in a while because they have a 12 IPAs of Christmas box that's 12 different beers.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And I was like, oh, that sounds kind of fun, but I'm still not buying Stone because they can eat my ass.
It's I've bought that before, and again, their IPAs tend to be kind of samey. They're good,
Yeah.
but there's not much differentiation between them. So for the price, though, it's good.
Greg, take that to the dome. Greg's
Dude.
holding up a stovepipe, a Yeti.
A stovepipe of peppermint bark Yeti that was a $12 can.
It has melted a candy.
Was it
cane
one of
in
those
there.
like I don't even check the price anymore? I'm just like, yeah, that looks good.
I got to say, when Great Divide announced that beer, my mouth started watering. I love
Really?
peppermint, like chocolate peppermint stuff. That sounds fantastic, and the artwork on that just makes it even look more appealing. It looks awesome to me. I can't wait to find it.
So I want to start this with some fantastic news. So
Okay.
fans of the show may remember that I was in the store and I was very distressed to find that the Duvel gift set included golf balls
Oh,
instead of a glass.
give them to me.
When
So
did we
instead
talk
of
about
getting-
this?
Oh, maybe we didn't talk about it on the show, but they
No.
had the Duvel gift pack in this Total Wine, and it has a set of like 4 Titleist Duvel golf balls, and I'm like, what the fuck am I
That
supposed
sounds
to do with
dumb.
these? And where is the world's best beer glass that you can get 4 free beers with?
Yeah.
Like, and
I don't like
Happy
that
to
glass,
find
but
today-
it is the best beer glass. Yeah.
it's back, baby.
Nice.
Nice.
The Duvel glass, 4
Is there
free
anything
beers.
anything special on the back? I can't really tell.
Yeah, it's a 150th anniversary gold.
Wow.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
Cool.
So yeah, the Duvel glasses are back, baby. Get to the store. So I consider Duvel a Christmas beer just because the Duvel glass in the holiday pack is such an iconic part of my beer drinking life, and I needed another one. So
Yeah, why golf balls? Like Duvel and golf? What is that?
Yeah.
How does that tie in? I guess maybe
Greg,
over
I
there
guess.
it's a thing, but
it's old guy beer, dude.
yeah, that's probably what it is. It's
You're
just
buying
like,
it for your dad for Christmas, and your
Okay.
dad golfs, and he likes beer.
yeah.
But who's drinking some Duvel on the golf course? Holy shit!
that's what I'm
like
saying.
not
Like,
the-
My
like,
you're drinking.
understanding of-
I can't hit the ball today.
My understanding of a lot of people, like that's just what they do when they golf. They just go out there and get shit faced.
Well, yeah, but you're probably not-
Duvel. That's
Exactly.
like an 8.5%. What's
Well,
the
that,
ABV
you
of
can
Duvel?
get shit faced in one.
A shit faced in
I
one.
didn't make it past the third tee.
That took a second.
So I'm starting out with one of these Bell's. Bell's had a holiday pack, so it does have 2 Hearted in it. But compared to like the Sam Adams winter pack or something, this is a pretty good mix. So the first one is Bright White. Whoa, it
That
And your
is
camera's
living up to
better.
its name. It's
Your-
blowing out the camera.
Nvidia thing is
Yeah,
having some
the
issues.
NVIDIA broadcast is fucking me. So yeah, Bright White is a Belgian-inspired wheat ale, and I don't think there's any gimmick or anything. It's
A
just a
white
Belgian
ale?
wit.
nice. And by the way, that song is I had the time of my life.
I still think that's him.
No,
I don't think
that's
it's
not
Michael
McDonald.
McDonald either.
I thought it was, but it's apparently not.
I think that's also Patrick Swayze.
No, I don't think he can
Yeah.
sing.
Well, he's dead now, so it doesn't matter. So, are you opening that
Definitely can't now.
peppermint bark?
I
Greg?
did. And I poured it,
Okay.
and it smells like a fresh batch of peppermint. Not like fresh peppermint, but the baking spice, like the little tiny vial you have in your spice cabinet for
Yeah.
God knows how long.
Whenever I have peppermint infused stouts, I prefer them to be more on the sweet side than the bitter side. I don't want it over the top, but if you have a stout that's too bitter with
Oh, that's
peppermint, it gets kind of weird, like burny and kind of boozy, because the peppermint kind of amplifies that.
Dude, and then it says white chocolate, but I don't really pick up on much white chocolate in there. But God,
That would
just look at the.
wouldn't that just turn into kind of sugar? Like it's just
Well, it's called peppermint bark, right?
yeah, but
it's
white
chocolatey
chocolate,
sugar.
like white chocolate doesn't have cocoa in it, right? So
Oh, okay, so it's white chocolate, yeah. Okay.
yeah. So by the way, the guy who sings the "Time of Your Life" song, I was like, isn't that the Righteous Brothers? It is. Well, it's one of the Righteous Brothers.
Okay.
It's a righteous bro.
Yeah. He's one half of the Righteous Brothers, William Thomas
This
Medley.
is true. And I owe it all to you.
It's no, you've lost that love and feeling. That's for sure.
That's
It's a good song.
That's right.
I like
Get the other brother in there and it fucking kicks it up a notch.
I like the soundtrack for Dirty Dancing. I like that movie a lot.
Me and
I'm gonna
Greg,
put it on right now.
I hate
next time
dancing.
we do the California Craft Beer Summit, me and Greg are gonna karaoke duet the Unchained Melody.
Dude, I don't know where,
please.
I don't know where the hell they hide these ABVs in this beer, but I don't sense any alcohol in this beer whatsoever. It's just a pure.
Oh, good.
And it's what, 11?
I think it's 9.5.
Yeti's like one of the ones that's the older school Imperial
Mhm.
Stout before they all went fucking stupid.
That is just scary, easy to drink. Like you can give that to grandma on Christmas morning. She'd be singing all the jolly tunes.
In its own way, this bright white is it is exactly what you would expect. It's like a strike down the middle, brewing classic styles, textbook Belgian white ale. Really, really well done. They didn't go too heavy on the clove, probably a little lighter on clove, maybe than even like. No, this is very comparable to something like a Hoegaarden, actually.
That's nice.
Who?
Maybe a little bit more of like an orange peel character on it than Hoegaarden has, but otherwise just a very traditional Belgian white, and but without a lot of yeasty estery kind of stuff. It's just very wheat forward. Super
It's
good.
a very,
beer.
very warm weather holiday beer. It's great for Southern California right now. Like, so I'm not lying. It's 70 degrees in Moval, which, Greg, you're in Orange County, so it's probably mid 60s.
Yeah, it's like 65-ish.
Perfect weather. Like,
Sweater weather.
it's great.
Is it 70 there? It's cooler and foggy here.
Yeah, it was dense fog earlier, but now it's that ugly white sky that still has fog in it that is blindingly white.
Dude,
Yeah, it looks awful.
there's
but
a hotel.
It feels nice.
There's a hotel by my house that has like a water slide park in front, and there was kids last night going down the water slide. That's how comfortable the weather is here.
That's SoCal.
Especially if you're from somewhere with winter. You're like, oh shit, it's 65.
Yeah.
Cool weather.
So, Shokavesa from Stone Brewing Company is typically brewed with chocolate, coffee, peppers, vanilla, cinnamon, and nutmeg. This one specifically is made with pasilla or pasilla peppers.
Pasilla.
I've never heard of pasilla peppers. I'm not sure what kind of peppers they've used in the past, but the pepper note on this isn't as forward as it usually is. Usually I get more of a little tiny burn in the back of my throat from the pepper, which works very well with like the cinnamon and nutmeg and big chocolate characters you get from this beer. But the tres leches aspect of it gives it a very smooth, not quite as sweet as just adding lactose to a beer, but like an edge to it. Creamy, like tasty edge to it. It's a perfect combination of flavors to add to this already like flavorful beer. It's very, very good. I was stoked to see this come in the mail because it's one of my favorite beers from Stone Brewing Company by far.
I wonder which 3 milks that did they put in it. Does it say?
They said it was inspired by the Brewers tres leches
It's
cake.
just inspired by the cake. Yeah. It was a Nagel joke there.
I mean, although like that dogfish fucking thing, they're like, we got 5 oats and we're gonna show you the different types
yeah.
of fucking oats. We got 3 milks. We got oat milk. We got goat milk.
Yeah,
And
exactly. With sheep. Yeah.
we went over to our buddies at Ballast Point, and we managed to get some boat milk. So,
Well, Tres Leches is a cake made with 3 milks. It's evaporated milk, condensed milk, and cream.
Right. Yeah. But it's all cow.
Yeah. Technically, I guess. Well, I mean, mix it up. Maybe you go for some goat cream and some
oat milk and goat milk.
Dude, one of my favorite.
The 3 milks: oat milk, goat milk, and like I said, they collaborated with Ballast Point and they got boat milk.
Boat milk. One of my favorite cheeses uses 3 different animals blend. It's cow, milk, and sheep. It's called Latour.
Jesus Christ!
And it's one of those that, like, at room temp, it just melts. So you have to serve it chilled. It's really fucking good.
They're very careful to not let anyone get photos of the monstrosity that creates this, but they have blended it into one animal that creates 1 milk. It makes it much cheaper than.
It's in an underground lab somewhere.
Kill me.
Yeah. They pull an udder off of each animal and stick it onto one.
I'm getting human centipede vibes for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the same thing. Or is it? What if they have one of each type of animal, like human centipede style, and then they milk into that animal, and that animal's milk goes into the other animal, and then they get the final milk product? This took a dark turn.
I like that you're whispering that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you have a cow, and then you feed the cow's milk to like a goat, and then you feed that goat's milk to like a sheep exclusively, and then it's like, yeah, this like human milk centipede.
There you go.
Or not an inhuman centipede of milk.
Merry Christmas.
This Christmas.
So I can highly recommend the Stone Giocavesa with Tres Leches, or Tres Leches inspired Giocavesa, because it is fantastic.
It's got 3 milks.
8.5%. I think that's a perfect alcohol percentage point for this kind of beer during this time of year. Keep you warm. It's not too over the top, where Stone's Enjoy By that just came out. Enjoy By, what is it? 010122.
Yeah, it's 1-1, I think.
9.5. It's a fucking IPA. It's a triple IPA. Like, that's pretty much triple IPA territory. I was like, oh, Jesus. So.
And like Stone does not do well at the higher end of boozy IPA. Like their high ABV stuff is just boozy.
Ruin 10 when it first came out.
Well, like the original Ruin, like I feel like they caught lightning in a bottle with the original Ruin 10,
so
and then every other version of it has just been.
That was like
I know you're not
beer.
buying Stone, Jason, but I would say buy the Enjoy By 010122 because I have a 6-pack and it's good. It's very, very good drinking for 9.5. You can tell it's 9.5, like you get that alcohol sweetness on it, but I think they pulled it off fairly well.
I just bought a Hammerland. I'll drink that instead.
Okay, that works too.
Sounds good. Did you guys happen to see on my Facebook the cotton-headed Ninny Muggins beer with stout brewed with spaghetti, maple syrup, lactose, chocolate, marshmallows, and M&Ms?
Is that from Elf?
Yeah, that's from Elf.
It's from Martin House Brewing Company in Fort Worth, Texas.
They're the pickle beer fuckers, right?
Yeah, maybe.
But I think they are. Man, they're really leaning in on fucking weird gimmicks.
I'd try it.
I'd throw that shit in a river. I want to yeet that bottle at a fucking passing car.
So my next beer, which I was still trying to open, this is kind of a throwback. This is from 50/50. This is, if I can get my camera there, this is Eclipse from 2011. Eclipse is their stout. This one's aged in oak barrels. Again, from 2011, so this is 10 years old.
Those bottles were a huge get, man, at the time. That was like, holy shit, you got all the fucking Eclipse barrels.
You had to invest in futures?
Yeah, I mean, it was a whole thing, dude. And this one is the Copper Wax, which this is the Brewers Grand Cru. So they had, let me see here. Let me go into my notes here. They
I like that
had
you became Ed Sullivan. You're like, it's a Brewers Grand Cru.
hang on a
The
second.
Beatles.
You got a really big shoe tonight with the Brewers Grand Cru.
They had a bunch of different variants. So they had Elijah Craig 20-year, Elijah Craig 12-year, Four Roses single barrel, Brandy Barrel Blend, Rittenhouse Rye, Buffalo Trace, Elijah Craig 18, and Heaven Hill Rye. So the Grand Cru is basically the brewer's blend of all those different beers into one bottle. So that's my next beer, and I'll be opening it for the next 15 minutes because it's covered in wax.
And I got myself a Prairie Bomb, but it's it's Prairie's Christmas Bomb. And
so instead of
shit,
like going it's like sleigh bells.
Ching, 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 and the price on it is $10.50, supporting Scott Windsor's child's college fund.
I've got Anchor's Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So
yeah, I'm
Anchor
curious to
Christmas.
see what you think about that, because I was like,
I've had one of this 6-pack and I thought it was all right so far. I didn't have any problems with it, but I wasn't.
It's a little more
thinking about
ABV than they have been in the past. I think it's around 7 or 7.5 now, which is
Yeah,
kind
it's
of an
7.
interesting bump. I thought they used to be around 5.5 or so.
It's the 47th version of this beer. They said they make one every year. This is the natural beauty of the Western Joshua tree. What's happening?
It's a different tree every year, so it's a Joshua tree this year.
Oh, okay. That's the label. Okay,
Mhm.
got it. I was like, is there a Joshua tree in here?
And then they put a special spice blend every year or something, and they don't really tell you what it is.
Yeah, they
so.
never really talk about what's in them.
It's a beer that's basically the same beer every year, and you might notice subtle differences. And
I would challenge that. I think they change it fairly significantly from year to year.
you think so?
Yeah, I don't know.
I kind of know what to expect from it when I get it. That's why I like it so much.
It's in the same wheelhouse, I guess, which is generally a dark beer with spices, but I feel like they change it up pretty heavily. So this is looking like a porter kind of in the glass, just real dark.
Yeah, it's not a super dark
pretty
beer.
opaque.
It's more of a very dark brown. You can
This
kind of
one-
see through it.
This one is pretty damn dark, man.
Well, then I'm just going to shut up because I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying. They change it up every year. It smells hoppy. It smells like piney.
Like
Maybe they did
spruce-
put Joshua tree in it.
Spruce tips. Little spruce tippy.
Oh, wow. Greg, what are you opening before I get to mine?
Oh, I got me some the Prairie.
Oh, that's right.
Christmas
That made that whole
Bomb.
joke. I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to get the wax off this stupid bottle, and I succeeded.
Christmas Bomb. It's their traditional imperial stout brewed with spices. I think there's nutmeg, ginger, and cinnamon. So it's very Christmas bready on the nose. It smells exactly how you think, like if you're baking a loaf of Christmas bread with like raisins and shit in it.
That beer is 10. Yeah, I was going to say that beer is usually pretty high. 13%.
It is, yeah, it's up there.
Ooh.
So this beer, I would say the flavors I'm getting are like cocoa, like pine, a little bit of like spice, like maybe like a nutmeg or like an allspice, and then it's boozy for 7%. This is hot.
Really?
Yeah, the retro nasal like on the exhale is like
I agree with you
breathing-
because
breathing fire a little bit.
I normally don't check ABVs on those beers when I'm drinking them, but I'm like, I'm getting a little warmth off of it, and I was like, why? Since when is this 7%?
Yeah, 7% normally doesn't register as boozy to me, but this feels boozy.
For Anchor's yeast? Maybe it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reseal this for later.
Overall,
Going
it's a
back
little,
to my. Sorry, go ahead.
just to close up, overall, I think the beer's a little muddled. Like there's a few different things going on, and I don't know that they fully integrate. It's not a bad beer per se, but it's definitely one where it's just like, okay, I'm glad I tried it. I wouldn't wholeheartedly recommend it. It's worth a shot. It's interesting, but
That's disappointing to hear because I
yeah.
look forward to that beer every year. Man,
I
It's
wholeheartedly agree.
It's a different beer. It's a unique beer, and I think it's worth trying. I wouldn't buy 6. But try to find one.
I mean,
Don't buy
the
a
thing is-
liter of it.
yeah, don't buy the
the
Magnum.
giant.
They have
Yeah.
the huge fuck off Magnum. And I'm like, nah, let me go with the 6-pack. That way I can spread it out over a few days.
Yeah.
And I finished the 6-pack, but I'm like, I don't think I'm going to buy a second one. Not like Celebration, where I was like, all right, this beer's super good every year.
I'm hearing that beer's like, is it just me or this year was Celebration like the demand was way outstripping
Cans,
the supply?
dude. Cans,
It feels like
bro.
it feels like it was people were like champing at the bit for it. It came and went quick, and like I'm hearing it's gone.
It's
like
gone.
What,
Yeah, you can't
what
buy
they've
it.
got is got.
I don't know. I thought they were going to release more. Like it was going to like they were doing like 2 or 3 big batches of it. But it's a fresh hop beer, so I don't know how long they can actually brew it.
I heard
to keep the
like,
hops
I remember
fresh.
seeing in some of my beer groups that like, hey, I work for a distributor and we're being told we're not getting any more kind of thing.
Oh well.
Well,
Check
goddamn beer in
Costco.
Nevada.
Costco still might have it because I know they get pallets of it. So I got my 6-pack and it was delicious. And if I can find it again, I'll buy it. If not, I'm glad I had it. It's great beer.
I do think it's probably one of the best beers that Sierra makes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, back in 2012 when I was at their beer camp, anywhere because it was like it's showing up in my Facebook like memories, like I was there, 9 years ago or something. But we were just drinking pitchers of Celebration as like nothing was happening. It was and they're like $7 or $8 up in Chico. So if you like your Celly, go up there and grab it.
It's gonna have a holiday getaway in Chico.
Yep.
Pull up in a Motel 6.
Doubt.
Like,
Chico's
how much for
pretty
you
dope.
guys to fill this gallon milk jug of fucking Celebration?
Celebrate.
So get into this Eclipse from 2011, 10-year-old beer. This is holding up so well.
Wow.
I was expecting an oxidized mess, to be honest, because that's what most of this stuff turns into.
Yeah.
I think this is just below the peak, right? So it's showing signs of age as far as oxidation and like cardboard aspects go, but it's just barely detectable. It has no heat on the flavor. You can kind of get it on the nose, but it's more of a really rich, dark chocolate kind of almost a little bit of like a chili nose, like a spicy chili nose. Very, very subtle, though. I don't think it's anything that's a flaw in the beer due to age or to sanitation or anything, oxidation, anything that can go wrong in a beer. I'm surprised this is a 10-year-old beer. Like this is tasting really good. It's super silky smooth. Carbonation has held up extremely well. Again, that's another thing you expect. Even with wax on a bottle, you still expect some kind of ingress or egress, whether it be ingress of air, oxygen, or CO2 coming out of solution and getting out of the cap. Nope, this is great. And maybe that is due to the wax. I mean, because it had a good amount of wax on there. It was a good, 1/8 inch thick. Like they did not hold back on the wax. This held up very well. It's got like a dusty cocoa character on the flavor. You can kind of let it slosh around and it stays in your mouth. It's very viscous. Very, very good. This beer held up very well, and I'm glad
Nice.
I opened it right now. This is fantastic. And 50/50, I think, I know no one's clamoring to get their beer anymore. I think they still exist, and I'm pretty sure they still make Eclipse, but no one's really lining up to buy it online. It's just a beer that is still around.
They're
think
up there
they-
in Truckee, right?
Yeah, Truckee, California.
The
Sort of
thing
by
with them is, I
McDonald's.
think they were in the wave when people were just going ape for barrel aged stouts. That
It was like
the
Black
hotness.
Tuesday and Eclipse, dude, at every bottle share.
And yeah, I don't think they really ever managed to kind of find a second thing to be known for. And then people were just kind of like, oh yeah, everybody makes a barrel aged stout.
Yeah.
Joe's Brewery down the corner makes a fucking barrel aged
yeah.
stout. So
And I
Yeah.
think breweries these days are more focused on making barrel-aged stouts that are, fleshed out, that are ready to drink fresh, rather than buy this and hang on to it for a few years or 10.
Yeah.
So they probably won't hold up as well, or maybe not hold up as well, but they won't really change for the better over time. They might
the
get
marmalade will
worse.
fucking flavors will come out, and whatever raspberry puree they put in there, and
Just turns to goop.
I got to say though, this is definitely a throwback to my early days of craft beer, where this is what you sought out. This is the stuff that Dr. Bill broke out when you were drinking at his house, and it's really good. I still have 10 more bottles of different variants behind me, so I'm happy to see that the one that's probably the most susceptible to getting fucked up, since it's a blend of so many different barrels, held up fine. So the single barrel variants, I think, are going to be, as far as age is concerned, they're going to be fine as well. So good job, 50/50.
And just to close out my Christmas bomb, I mean, with spiced beers, they can go one of two ways. They can go way overboard and just be kind of gross or bitter or tannic because of way too much spice, like baking spice in there. This is like, dude, the Prairie guys have their shit figured out. These beers, it's delicious. It's drinkable.
They do adjunct beer really, really well.
Yeah,
I think they don't go overboard.
Their adjunct beer is beer first, and then it's just it's like adding just enough salt to your whatever you're eating, just to kind of bring out the flavors. And you can I think they do a good job of making beer first and then making it.
I'm not the target audience for this, but I think it's extremely well done. I would definitely, like, if you saw it on tap somewhere, definitely get a pour of it. It's good.
So my next one I'm opening up is another one of the Bell's pack, and this is I think this is new for this pack. It is called Wild Spruce Chase. There we go.
The Spruce Goose.
It's got like a truck with a Christmas tree on there, and just smelling the bottle when I opened it, this is the piniest smelling beer I've ever had. Like, the aroma on this is just fresh cut Christmas tree.
What exactly is that beer?
Tips?
It is a IPA with spruce tips.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I actually really like spruce tips in beer. It brings like a sort of freshness to it. Like, it's not overly like Christmas tree.
You can really fuck up a beer with spruce tips, and like spruce, it's like using rosemary in a beer. They're both very potent.
Sage,
I think.
As well.
Yeah, and you can really be heavy-handed with it in a very easy kind of way. You know what I mean?
like rosemary. I just tried this, and there is like an herbaceousness to it. It's like if piney hops also had like an herbal, like a herb, again, like rosemary. Like, there's a finish on it, like you had rosemary or sage that is getting that, but with that pine character to it. I feel like I'm breathing pine. This beer is just piney, but in a really good way. It's so aromatic. It feels like walking into a Christmas tree park to pick your tree.
Oh, that's cool.
but like in your mouth.
Is it
not cool?
Is it dank?
No.
There's pine needles give off terpenes just like pot or hops do. So I wonder if that's the situation.
It's pretty bright. It's a pretty bright flavor. It doesn't have any of that like stickiness to it that you get with like a Columbus hop or something. Like, it is in the zone of getting like a Cascade if it was just super amped up, and just, again, the aroma is just very big pine. It's very bright aroma. I've had beers with spruce tips before, but they didn't get this much character at all. This is really cool. This is worth trying.
I want to touch those tips.
I want to put its tip in me.
It sounds like what is working here is the combination of the spruce tips and the hops. Like, they found a good, I don't know, the hops are complementing the spruce tips, and the spruce tips are complementing the hops. And just last night, I'm bringing this up because I had I posted in our Discord about it. I had hop tea.
I had those too. I thought that was really well done.
I forgot the name of the place. It's hop something. Hop. I looked it up on Instagram, but
the product is called Hop Tea, though. right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to think of the name of the brewery. Anyway, this one was green tea with Mosaic, and I couldn't drink last night because I was on call for work, and I had it. I bought it at Goodwin's Organic Market in Redlands, and I figured, well, I'll try it now because what better time? Like I can't drink beer, so let's try it. And I was blown away by how, like on the first sip, I was like, oh my god, this tastes like a Mosaic, like
So good, right?
not
Those
gonna
are
be
so well done.
yeah, I'm not gonna say pale ale, but like a Mosaic something kind of beer. Like I don't know,
Yep.
because but it had the perfect amount of carbonation because it's a sparkling hop tea, and the way the Mosaic hops and the green tea worked with one another was perfect. The nose, if you poured it into a glass, it smelled like more green tea than anything else, and that's fine. But I'm not a tea drinker, so I poured it in a glass and poured it right back in the can because I was like, I don't need to get the aromatics from this. I just want the flavor. And for what it was, 0 calories. It's just
so
water,
good.
CO2, and hops. It's got 60 milligrams of caffeine, natural caffeine, I'm assuming.
Yep.
So don't crush 3 before you go to bed because you'll be up all night.
Yeah, I gotta look into, especially if like
Dude, Target sells those.
I don't really love tea, but I love like of the teas that I like, green tea is the one I like the most. And Mosaic is my favorite hop, so that shit seems tailor made for old
Yeah.
Jason. So I
I've
gotta
had
give that a
2 of
shot.
them now, and they've both been really good. Totally different flavors.
Yeah, they make a white tea version, a green tea version, and a couple other ones.
And they're dope.
Yeah.
I
We
wanna
should
homebrew that
we
shit,
should do a
dude.
hop tea show.
I was talking to Andy from he does shows with the Full Pint. He's I don't know. He's more than just a guy that podcast with the Full Pint. He writes for
Del Dot Beer?
Brewlosophy. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
he's the California Homebrewers
president,
head honcho.
right? Yeah. But he hit me up because I posted on Instagram about it, and he's like, "Yeah, these days I'm just drinking hop tea and Athletic beers. I still have yet to try beers from Athletic Brewing Company, a brewery that makes
They're okay.
NA beers." And I told him, I go, I'm gonna try Athletic. I'm not against it, but I think I'd just rather drink this. Like it's something
100%.
completely different. It's
And
not
it's
trying
good.
to be a beer without alcohol. It's just something with
And
hops.
there's caffeine in it.
Yeah.
Like you
And-
get something out of it.
so I'm going to try the Athletic beers, but I really think, considering how much I liked this product, I'm just going to stick with this. And it was 4 months old. Like it wasn't
wow.
super fresh. So I'm interested to see what it's like when it's a month old or 2 months old, because at 4 months old, it still was fantastic. I don't know hop chemistry, but there's something going on in beer where it degradates the aromas and flavors of hops differently than something that isn't beer, because it seems to me like it held up pretty well.
What was the trip is like my wife doesn't like hops at all. She's like adverse to any bitterness at all in beers. Like, but the hop tea, she was like, well, that's actually really good. So it's not they're not extracting the bitterness. It's just all
It's all the flavors,
aroma and flavor.
Yeah, I was impressed with it. So maybe we'll have it on a future show. We'll see. But
I mean, considering it's not alcoholic, I can probably order it on the internet.
you probably can. Yeah. Since I'm talking, I opened another beer. This beer is a beer I bought, I want to say on Tavour about a year ago. This is from, I think, January of 2021. This is from Adroit Theory. This is Eat the Rich.
Nice.
And this is just a straight up Imperial Stout. No fancy gimmicks, no adjuncts. It's just a stout. And coming off of the Grand Cru from Eclipse from 2011, this tastes kind of like a fresher version of that, if that makes sense. It's not quite as viscous, not as rich, because, again, with the Grand Cru, you're dealing with a bunch of different barrel blends. But it seems like this would be like something that you drink as the base beer for that barrel-aged beer. Just very clean, quote-unquote easy drinking for an Imperial Russian Stout. This is 12% alcohol by volume. Ooh. It doesn't come off too hot. No, it's more like cocoa on the nose than anything else. It's a very well-done beer. I'm very impressed with this beer. There's not much to say about it. It's just, for 12%, holy moly. Really good.
I got myself a Heater Allen's Sandy Paws that they put out every year. And just reading online, it's a Baltic porter, and they change up the recipe every year. I'm curious to give it a shot. I think I had this one last year on our Christmassy show.
Yeah, I was gonna. That sounds familiar. I know. I don't think I've had it, but that does sound familiar.
Sandy Paws.
Just to slight derail and close back to what we were just talking about, Hoplark is the company that makes the hop tea.
There you go.
And not only do they sell it online, they have a bunch of stuff they only sell online. They also have hop water, and they have a bunch of different like Sabro hop, Citra hop, hop water. They have like exclusive stuff, different months, and all sorts of cool little different hop experiments.
Dude, sign me up.
I'm
a keg of that shit.
I'm seriously bookmarking this website so I can go to it when we're done with the show.
Hoplark.
Yeah, I can't speak. I can't speak for their other tea varietals, like tea hop combos, but for me, the green tea and Mosaic just clicked. It was really good. I recommend it. And Greg, you did have that beer last year on the show. It was episode.
Oh, wait, you know what's funny is I think we had.
323.
I think it was like a Christmassy show, and I bought it not even realizing it was a Christmas beer because the name, like Sandy Paws, I didn't really. Oh, Sandy Paws! Like
and they call him Sandy Paws.
Yeah, they were trying to come up with the name of the beer, and they were walking along the Oregon coast, and the dog's paws. He was like, "Ah, Sandy Paws." So that's how it was.
Sounds like Santa Claus.
Yep, it's cool.
It's clever. I like it. The label could be more holiday-ish, but I don't know. Their labels are pretty.
It is their dog.
Oh, I didn't see the dog.
Their dog. Yeah.
Okay.
Sandy Paws.
Cool. Jason, how's it going?
I'm still drinking this. I'm still drinking this spruce beer, man.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
so Bell's they recently sold their brewery, and not too much. Like I think the beer collective has given it their blessing. Like,
yeah, wasn't that
don't give a shit anymore.
It's to Kieran, to New Belgium, but ultimately
New Belgium.
Kieran, because Kieran owns New Belgium. It just kind of at this point, it's like hard to get too excited one way or the other about it. It's just like, it's kind of always what happens, right? Like, I think if you're a large regional brewery, you have to either kind of merge or. Like, I don't know.
You want to retire and get a paycheck, dude.
Well, and also, like, imagine you're a guy that was like, I like brewing and I ran a brew pub in the 80s, and now you're running like a conglomerate with thousands of employees.
Totally.
Like, I gotta imagine some of them are just like, I never fucking signed up for this shit. I want to fuck it. I'm out.
I'm sure he's happy, or I'm sure they're happy with their success and whatnot. But you're right. It gets to a point where it's just. Like,
it's a different job than what you signed up for. It's not, you're not in it for the love of the game. You're just in it because you're like, well, I guess it almost becomes like you just kind of have to, right? Like, I can't imagine your average, like, kind of hippy dippy home brewer in the 80s was hoping that they could be the CEO of a massive international corporation.
Yeah, go back to what was that? The Beer Wars or something like that. There was a documentary somebody put out, and like Larry Bell was in it with like his fedora, and he's like reciting poetry and shit.
That was that American beer one.
American beer,
shared,
okay.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, he seemed like a cool guy to hang out with, and I was like, yeah, man, I want to go to Michigan and drink beer with Larry Bell. But and dude, you just get old. You want to cash that check and get the fuck out.
And I don't blame them. I really don't. I mean, at this point, I'm not going to say that I don't care, but it's not as massive of a deal finding out that a brewery sold to a larger corporation or sold out to Big Beer. It depends on the brewery again, but in Bell's case,
I'd be more surprised if they didn't.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd be disappointed if like Highland Park got sucked into like AB and Bev. That'd be like, oh shit.
Oh fuck yeah, that's a big deal.
And I don't think you're gonna see much of that, right? Like you're not seeing local breweries that are in, one part of one state becoming part of these big, massive brewery conglomerates. It's this brewery that's in 40 states merged with this other brewery that's in 38 states.
That makes more sense to me than the previous. Yeah.
And even then, I think another side discussion is like, I think, we were always at war with big beer, with the breweries that sold out and stuff like that, like Elysian, Golden Road, going to AB InBev. Like, and like you go to a stadium now and you find all local craft beer along with those. So like you can drink whatever you want.
The scene has changed, right? Because back in 2008, craft beer wasn't a thing like it is now. Like it's very well known now. Going to a craft brewery is the normal thing to do now. It's not it's not taboo or I'm going to a microbrewery. Ooh, no, I'm going to Radiant down the street to get some beers because that's the brewery that's kind of what we all wanted, right? We all wanted local breweries to thrive and make good beer and stay in business, and that's kind of what's happening right now. So there's really there's still some shady stuff that these bigger breweries do, especially like AB InBev I'm sure they still do the thing where they buy a bunch of taps and they maintain it and they have all their handles.
Few and far between though.
Yeah, but it's way less than it was before because people want local beer and they want like a selection of beers that's just not from one provider, like one distributor. And there's really no reason these days to be like we were back then.
The big thing that we have in the market now that we didn't then is not just a variety of manufacturers, but a variety of flavors, right? Like 15, 20 years ago, your options in beer were that you had like, you basically had, lager, and if you're really adventurous, amber lager, and like that's kind of it, or a Guinness. Blonde. Yeah, like it was.
It's a matter of tastes and opportunities to taste different beers changing as well. Yeah,
and I think to a degree, the hazy IPA, as much as we all love them, I think that's honestly what pushed a lot of those bigger breweries out of a lot of establishments because customers want like what's new and hot. Like, hey, do you have any hazy IPAs? No, but we have this Wolf Pup.
Well, that was the style that a big brewery just couldn't whip up overnight, right? Because there's really no clear-cut guideline on how to make that kind of beer because it's been interpreted by so many different breweries that local tastes prefer that local flavor. I remember Danny Fullpint talking about how they went to Maine on a family trip, he and Johnny with their families, and they went to Treehouse, I think it was. Are they in Maine? What's the Maine brewery?
There's Allagash. There's
no, it's a hazy brewery.
Okay, I'm not.
Anyway, it was a well-known brewery. He walked in there, looked at the menu, and said, "Do you guys have anything clear?" And the server just looked at him and said, "We serve New England IPA here," and then that's it. And he felt like an asshole. He's like, "Of course, because I'm in fucking New England." Like, why would I ask that question? That's just messed up.
So good.
And but that's what I'm saying. Like, someone like AB InBev, they, I'm sure they could get something that appeals to everyone everywhere. But when hazy IPAs came on the scene, that was something that really kind of kickstarted this whole drink local thing. In bigger markets because it was that local flavor that people wanted.
I think the time, the catch-up time has passed though. Like there was a couple years there where they actually managed to keep it a fairly well guarded secret on like what made these beers work. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of traditional brewers struggled with cracking that nut. I think that's over, right?
Oh, like, totally.
I mean, I can go to the gas station and get Sierra Nevada's hazy little thing. I can get some Voodoo Ranger hazy IPA, and like Golden Road probably throws a hazy in there. Like that nut's been cracked by the big breweries. It's not.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Hazy Little Thing. Actually, I think in the hazy category for the Bistro IPA Fest, I think they got like first or second.
Yeah, I'm not denying they figured it out. But I'm saying back 5 years ago, it was a kick in the pants. It was the in for craft breweries to get into these places because it's like you go to a place and like, dude, we cannot keep this beer on the shelf Like, we sell out every week. We're going to be ramping up our production. Would you be interested in getting this beer? Because people will buy it, and you can only get it from us. And if you go to, your current distributor like AB InBev, maybe that's all they had. You could say they cannot give you a product that's this good that people will buy.
I think
with this
a
demand.
lot of it too, though, inherently, like, monkish cans couldn't sit on the shelf at your grocery store and really work, right? Like,
Right.
they're a perishable product, they're freshness dependent, and they're inherently something that drives traffic to a brewery, and that's fine. Let's keep it that way. We have a lot of room for that.
So yeah,
Oh,
That was the end of my.
that was
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's just like, yeah, like that style is a very freshness. It's not super shelf stable, and people will have to go to the source to get it. And at the end of the day, that's fine. Breweries that rely on selling to customers that walk into their building generally aren't struggling unless they're trash.
Yeah.
It's the breweries that are trying to get their beer on every grocery store in the state that are having a hard time because there's 45 other breweries trying to do the same thing.
Yeah. 100%, man.
I've got 2 beers left, but I'm not going to open both. One
I
is from
scrapped
Evil
one of mine.
Twin, but this one's made with cinnamon, cacao nibs, chili peppers, and coffee, which sounds like Joka Vesa. So I'm not going to open that. Instead, I'm going to open this bottle from the brewery. This is Seven Swans a Swimmin'. This is their bourbon barrel aged variant. It's a Belgian style quad that's aged in bourbon barrels. And we've had this beer on the show. No. We had the non-barrel aged version on the show when we were at the brewery. What was that? 4 years ago? 3 years ago, I think. And this is from their original release of this beer. I want to say in 2012 or 14 or something like that. I don't know. It's an oldie. It's been in my closet for a while. So
All right. I am cracking Santa's butt. I'm just grabbing one cheek,
perfect.
one hand on one cheek, one hand on the other.
Good job.
I've been
Greg.
waiting my whole life to get Santa's butt in my
And
mouth.
I'm cracking Santa's butt. Seeing what he got in the old poop hole.
I'm tripping into a beer that I remember not liking.
Perfect.
So,
That beer's straight up get drunk on Christmas.
Yeah, in the ceramic coated foil wrapped bottle with a little Santa hatted elephant on it. A Delirium Noel. I can't remember the last time I had this beer. I know I've had Tremens more recently than I've had Noel.
What is that? 16%?
Oh Christ, is it?
No.
Oh
It
God,
tastes like it is.
it's bubbling.
This beer is 10%.
It's
Okay.
bubbling.
It tastes like it's
Delirium.
17, 18%.
Look at it. Oh God.
So boozy.
Oh no.
It's peaking.
Cool, man.
It's crowning.
Come on, Greg.
Crowning. Where the fuck is the ABV on here?
It's on Untapped. It says 10%.
10.
10%.
Yeah, 10%.
Okay.
Okay. Well, fuck my life.
Dude, all my
Honestly,
beers are
this
nice.
is not an appetizing looking beer at all. This is kind of golden and hazy and looks kind of flat. And at least on the photos I'm looking at on Untapped. What do you think, Jason? No, that's
This
got
beer?
some head on it.
No, it's dark. It's a little darker. It's like kind of a.
It's
on
like
the
a Belgian
darker s-
Christmas stout.
It's like as dark as you can get while still being gold. It still has like, because I'm getting
Okay,
it
it's
backlit by the
brownish.
monitor. It's like brownish, but it's pretty translucent, but still brown. It's in that weird point where it's between like kind of that caramel goldy
Yeah.
color and a stout.
I don't like that color. It's a dark dark copper, orange copper. I don't know. I remember not liking this beer. Maybe I should revisit it, but yeah.
Well, let's find out. So it's got a lot of head on it. It feels a little almost overcarbonated. The nose is just kind of it smells like a double, honestly, like a Belgian double.
Okay.
Dude, just sniffing the ullage on this bottle, and it smells a little vinegary, which is not a good sign.
Ugh.
My Santa's butt. Smelling the ullage.
The Santa's butt. They make other beers, don't they? Like
Lump
that are
of
cartoon. Yeah.
It's the shit that your aunt will buy you for a stocking stuffer, and you're like,
Oh, he
"Thanks.
likes beer. I'm gonna
Here's
get
a
him
lump of
Santa's
coal."
butt.
Look at this, Santa's butt. Isn't that funny?
He's gonna laugh about
In
that.
the glass. I mean, it actually poured okay. Not much on the nose. It's just sort of like your typical like stout porter.
My grandma bought me
That's about
beer
it.
for Christmas once, and she did not buy me some kind of weird, like, I don't know, funny or themed beer. She just got me a keg of red ale from BJ's Pizza House.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, thank you very much.
Was it
Great
Jeremiah's or
Jeremiah's Red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Love a
I
good
still
red
have the
ale.
keg. I never returned it, and she died a few months ago, so I'm just going to keep the keg. So, reminds me of my grandma.
We should rebrew that in her honor and put it back on tap.
We could. I
Have a
have
little grandma party.
the tools to open up a Sankey keg. So,
Let's do it.
that'd be
So,
fun.
yeah, this beer, especially on the second drink, is surprisingly decent. It's a lot of brown sugary kind of character in it, but again, it's very much like a amped up Belgian double. It's not into where a quad is. There's not as much malt. There's not nearly as much of that like dark fruit character to it. It does have a little bit of the Belgian estery thing, but not any of that funkiness. And actually, the fizziness, the prickliness from being what I would say seemingly slightly overcarbonated helps it not be too cloying. Pretty good beer. Fucking A.
Yeah. So
I mean, where do Belgian triples start in terms of ABV? Like, is that a thing?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's above
7.5 to 9. So this is a
7, yeah.
triple, actually.
Yeah, but it's not a triple.
It comes off
in-
like a double, is what you're saying.
But yeah, but a triple is going to be very light, right? A Belgian
Right,
triple
yeah.
is going to be very pale yellow. There's almost no malt character. You're not going to get like brown, sugary, dark malt characters to a triple. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
would
Greg.
assume they're. Oh, I was going to say they're probably just using Belgian dark sugar, right?
It very much could be.
Like that
Yeah,
D120 or whatever.
Yeah, if you tell me this is dark candy sugar, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And there may be a little bit of spices in there too.
You can kind of tell by the body of it. Is it very light and like effervescent, or is it like a thick stouty? That's how you tell if it's candy. Candy sugar also has like an iodine quality to it.
yeah, it's pretty
According
light
to
actually.
craftbeer.com, it's a double should come off like a lighter quad, basically. You know what I mean? It's not quite as dark and like rich as a quad. It's kind of, a quad light. I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe that's kind of the key
Session
here.
quad.
And I don't know, somebody who's fucking brewed one of these out of Brewing Classic Styles is gonna probably write in and tell us to go suck a dick. But it's almost like you took a double and like amped it the fuck up with candy sugar to 10%.
Yeah.
And
That's
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 kinda
where
what
I was
this is.
wrong, because if you look up triple, a triple is a lighter style as far
Oh yeah,
as color
a
goes.
triple pours. It
Yeah.
looks like it looks pale yellow.
A
when you-
golden-
But
Yeah,
triple
golden ale.
also refers to the alcohol content because it's higher than a double. But
Right.
double and triple, it's not just alcohol based. A double is more color
Right, the
and
flavors
flavor.
are totally
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
And
They're
so this
using
doesn't-
darker candy sugar.
This doesn't taste like a quad. A quad is a lot thicker. It has more body. It's richer in flavor. It's more dark fruit flavor on this. Like I said, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they took their double, amped it up with a bunch of candy sugar to get the alcohol up, and maybe added a couple other things to balance it out. But
All right.
it doesn't seem like they went crazy adding more malt. They didn't get a lot more color. The color on this is a lot lighter than you'd get out of a quad.
What's
So-
the spice level like? Is it like just all yeast based, or is there any additional?
Whatever is there is kind of in the background. It feels like a very malt forward beer. I'm not getting a lot of yeast esters. It just really seems like it's malt flavors predominantly coming through.
Oh man.
Well, speaking of a quad, getting back to my beer, the Seven Swans of Swimming. For being what, let's say it's 8 years old, 9 years old. Because again, I don't know if it's from 2012 or 2014. It's held up pretty well. This has been in my cellar the entire time. I had it in the fridge for about 2 hours. Just getting a chill on it, and it's pretty nice.
What was the base beer on that? Was it the?
They don't say the base beer. They just say it was a Belgian style quad.
Okay, so it's a quad base.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't say if there was. It was just a generic quad. So
Cool.
It comes off kind of sharp on the palate, like on it, kind of like it's kind of bitter, but combined bitterness with like alcohol bite. I guess that's like that sharpness I'm referring to. It kind of comes off. The first thing that came to mind was cherries, like, but that sounds weird. It's not cherry like. It just it's got like a sharpness to it that I can't quite put my finger on. Aroma wise, it smells like a delicious quad, not oxidized at all. Smells really good. Head goes away very, very quickly. That's what it looks like. A very dark brown.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
And so you said that's the barrel. Oh, they were doing barrel variants even in the original runs, right?
Yep.
And not on
Yeah.
the first couple, but I think they did.
I think
after
the year
first
4
few.
the fourth one.
Because I was
the
like,
third
oh,
one.
it's 6 years old. I thought they just did the barrel ones. I was like, oh no, they did when they did the re-release. They did first the regulars, then the barrel.
Yeah, this is the one in the 750, and the new ones are all in what 375s. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it just tastes like a very tasty quad. Bourbon barrel character, I think, is subdued. If I'm getting any sharpness, that sharpness I think I'm getting from it is the bourbon barrel aspect coming through. If this was just the regular quad, the non-barrel aged version, 7 Swans a Swimming, I think I'd like that more. Because the fresh, this was probably better, I think. With age, not so much. But for what it is, I think it held up quite well.
And my Santa's butt, as funny as it is not a good beer. It tastes like if you were to take an older shitty beer and pour it into a pewter mug and drinking that sort of like you get that old metallic-y, dusty,
Oh yeah.
sort of like
Kind of like drinking orange juice out of an aluminum bottle kind of thing.
Yeah, like you brush your teeth and had orange juice after or coffee after. Yeah, it's got some metallic notes to it that just don't. Just don't. Save your $6.
I've seen these beers on the shelf, and I've never been inclined to buy them. Like, it's a funny name, and but
the Lumba Coal wasn't bad. I remember having that last year, and it was actually just a stout. There was nothing fantastic about it, but at least it was drinkable. This is just pure dump.
They seem to really have carved out this niche of being in like world market gift sets.
exactly, it's a cost plus world market beer. I used to refer to that a lot, especially on New Beer Thursday, where there's beers that I saw at cost plus where it's like, look at that weird beer. Arrogant Bastard was one of them. They come off to me like novelty beers, and Arrogant Bastard, I think you could call it a novelty beer, but it's a good beer. Where this is just a straight up novelty beer. Like, don't buy it. It's not good. Don't buy it for anybody as a joke. It's made by Ridgeway Brewing out of South Stoke, Oxfordshire, England. It's probably just a conglomerate at this point that owns them.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I said, the airspace, the ullage of the beer smelled like vinegar, which is not a good.
Yeah,
that's the first time I've had that happen.
Yeah, that sounds like a hot fucking mess of a beer.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry you had to end your Christmas show on that beer, Greg.
Luckily, I'm just going back to my Heater Allen and just
go.
dusting. This is such a great fucking beer. I don't think I talked about it because we went on the Bells thing, but anything by Heater Allen, just pure solid goodness.
They don't miss.
No, never.
They don't miss.
It's really good.
Yeah, the beers that I opened, considering they all came from my cellar / refrigerator, that have just been sitting for a while. I'm very happy. I was expecting to be massively disappointed by the Eclipse from 50/50, not because of anything they did,
It's
but
not their
just,
fault.
It's
just
age,
because of the
right?
age, right?
The old stuff doesn't hold up.
And it
I
held
got a
up
cellar
great.
full of fucking rotted beer too.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to them. I'm not saying they could predict the future and how, that we're going to brew it this way so it holds up better over time, but the beer they made held up great over the last 10 years, and I'm happy I opened it. The Seven Swans of Swimming, again, I think it's past its peak. It's definitely kind of in the top quarter as far as on its way back down. If you have one, open it this year. I wouldn't sit on it any longer. The Adroit Theory, Eat the Rich. I didn't talk about it much, but excellent stout. It's 12%, so keep that in mind. And the Stone Jogavesa with Tres Leches, it's excellent. Like, I'm gonna finish this can out of all these beers because it's one of my favorite beers. I put it right up there with Anchor's Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. So
It's Christmas. Just a bookend.
all right, are we
Oh,
done?
man. Yep.
I think so.
All right.
We got over an hour of content. It's good
Uh,
content.
For
baby.
those pictures behind you, John, for Christmas, I'm going to get you this printed out. It's the chemical compound trans 2-nonenal.
And what is that again?
That's the cardboardy flavor in beer.
Okay.
Just put that on your cellar.
Dude, I would, yeah. I'd put that framed on my wall in the house.
Trans
Why
2
not?
no.
I would do it.
Oh man.
Good stuff.
Dude, you know what was annoying as shit? So like somebody posted an article yesterday and it was from USA Today, which is like a national source. I was like, that's a newspaper, right? And it's just like blizzard warning in Hawaii. And
What?
I'm like, oh shit, that's a crazy story. And then I read it and it's like, and they were kind of loose with the details, so I clicked to the weather service. So basically, Hawaii has two mountain peaks that are 14,000 feet tall,
Oh yeah. It's
and
like
at the
Mount
top
Fuji.
of them, it snows all the time.
Mhm.
And this weekend, it's going to be stormy. So if you're in the top of the mountains where it snows, there may be a blizzard. In the Washington Post article, they were like, in the regular parts of Hawaii, the beaches, it's expected to be between 60 and 70 degrees, like it fucking always is. But the article, the USA Today one, mentioned none of that shit. It's like, God damn, this clickbait garbage.
It's kind of
So
like the
gross.
article that came out where the governor from Florida was going to do citizen militia groups, like he was considering doing that. And come to find out, that's just something governors can do. They can, especially during times of like when there's an emergency, you can do that. But it was being twisted like, see, he's going to make citizen militias and they're going to...
I mean, with Ron DeSantis, it's
I
pretty,
wouldn't put it past him
plausible.
to use it the wrong way. But when you read what was going on, it was like, maybe don't hype it as much as, you are, because you're going to look bad, I think.
On a current events note, within the last hour, CNN finally got off their fucking ass and fired Chris Cuomo.
Oh, good.
Yeah, fuck him. No Cuomo. I don't know if you followed all that shit.
No, not at all. I don't watch the news much.
Do you know who Chris Cuomo is?
I do, yeah.
You know his brother is?
Government, yeah, the governor of New York's
Yeah.
brother.
So basically, the attorney general released a bunch of shit that came out that he was like actively, basically acting as like the PR guy for his fucking brother and trying to cover for all his sex crimes and shit.
So stupid.
And so CNN suspended him. And honestly, I was like, look, they didn't fire the guy that jerked off on a fucking Zoom call. So there's no way they're going to fire this guy, but they fucking fired him.
What?
No. The guy, he worked for some other organization who did fire him, and then CNN hired him afterwards.
That's even worse.
Well, I'm just saying,
Jerking off on a Zoom call.
CNN, he didn't work for CNN at the time. He worked for,
Good
I don't
Christ.
know, some other
This guy-
high-end organization.
This guy, Jeffrey Toobin, was like a fucking lawyer analyst or whatever. And he's on a Zoom call. And
He's
then,
wanking it?
yeah. And then he's fucking old. and he didn't realize his webcam was still on, and he just pulled his dick out and started cranking hog because he thought the call was over.
God, it's
but
so
it wasn't.
embarrassing.
Wow.
And
Oh my God. Oh, what a nightmare.
and then he didn't get fucking
Like,
fired.
ah.
You know, he was on CNN. That was where he was suspended.
Are you
from.
sure?
Yeah. And then 8 months later, he returned as their chief legal analyst.
Gross.
No, it says he was suspended from the New Yorker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say the New
He
Yorker,
worked
but
for
I wasn't
CNN
sure.
before as well. CNN apparently was just like, that's fine.
Yeah, but I think it was the New Yorker who fired him, and then he apologized, and CNN. I mean, apparently the guy masturbating on camera aside knows his shit. Like, he's a really good. I think he's a lawyer. The dude knows his shit, so I don't blame CNN for hiring him. But I mean,
if you're popping bone
he's
during a
jacking
Zoom
off,
call,
and he messed up.
If you're jerking off on a Zoom call, maybe you shouldn't be on TV.
Well, he wasn't on. They were on a break, and maybe he's just
who's,
horny.
shouldn't
who's
be on
getting,
TV.
who's getting a boner while you're on a work call?
Greg,
Not me.
sometimes nature calls, and
We're gonna have a fucking 6 months from now. It's gonna be like, all right, so John accidentally cranked off on a Four Brewers podcast post show.
nope.
So good.
Yeah.
He's like, well, the show's over. I stopped recording, and it's like, wait, the StreamYard's still on. John, wait, he doesn't have
No,
his
I have
headphones on.
a physical on-off switch in my camera, so I know when it's off. Like, it has no power.
So what you're saying is,
when I do crank
You
off
verify.
in my studio, I make sure all the cameras are off,
Oh,
including
man.
my smart
next
cameras.
time we record live, I'm bringing a black light.
Go for it. My brother used to have this room as his bedroom, so keep that in mind.
Oh, it's coated. It's got ectoplasm everywhere.
Oh, dude, Greg, when you were over, we were talking about chairs or whatever, and then you were basically just like, yeah, it's teenager, just buy a cheap chair, which was like, that's fair advice. So that should, so today I get like a knock at the door. I'm like, oh, there's a package. And kiddo's like in the living room watching TV, and I walk out, I'm like, oh, fuck, it's his Christmas thing.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So then I'm like,
It's a big box.
So I'm like, yeah, it's like 4 feet tall. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, it's a car stuff. Let me go put it in the garage. And I grab my key and just fucking slide it in the garage. And he's like, watching Mandalorian, thinking nothing of it. It's like the perfect crime.
Did it. Yeah. That's always the best. That's what makes Christmas so fun as kids.
So, 2 things, Jason.
Oi.
I had the Eero Pro before. I bought the Eero Pro 6 because I just got Gigabit, and the Eero Pro 6 is capable of handling Gigabit over Wi-Fi. And I'm not expecting to get Gigabit speeds over Wi-Fi. On the previous Eero Pro,
pretty fast, though.
I was getting fastest I would get is like 220 up
That's
and
not bad.
down. And this one, I'm lucky if I hit 250 one time out of 25 speed tests. And I know you can't use speed tests as the benchmark, but it just seems like the Wi-Fi is more temperamental and shoddy. The Eero 6 has Wi-Fi 6 built in, which is the AX Wi-Fi thing.
Yeah, which Wi-Fi 6 doesn't really add speed. It should be adding capacity, if anything. Like the improvements that come in Wi-Fi 6 over previous gen is really more about having lots of clients and being able to handle that without overloading the network. It's
Oh.
not really speed. It shouldn't be. It's not meant to be faster.
It's not meant to
I
be
didn't-
one-on-one.
It's not advertised as faster. It's really more like that. It's better at roaming and
So it's better with like buffer bloat kind of thing.
It's
If you
more
know
like
what
if
that
you have
is.
1,000 Wi-Fi clients, it's not going to get fucked up. Where the previous Wi-Fi gens had a harder time with that.
Oh, okay. Well, that answers that question. Because I was expecting, because they advertise it as, this is the router to buy for gigabit Wi-Fi speeds. And I'm like, okay, I'll, temper my expectations. But if I see 400 megabit down on Wi-Fi on my MacBook Pro, like that I just bought, that's cool. And if I stand right next to the router, I get that sometimes, but for the most part, it's between 150 and 250 down. So, which is still fine, but if I want to actually get gigabit, I have to plug into Ethernet, which...
And honestly, the big thing when you're getting into speeds that high too isn't about single client speeds. It's about having the bandwidth for all of your clients and all
right.
of the shit.
Well, now that you put it that
network,
way,
right?
it makes more sense. And because I do have a lot of shit on my Wi-Fi
Yeah,
network,
and even
so-
not just Wi-Fi 6, but when you're talking about going from like a 200 meg connection to a gig, it's not so your one computer can upload 5 times faster. It's very hard. Like getting a gigabit download on a one client, there's a lot of things that can go wrong to stop that, right? Like your hard drive, like literally your hard drive could be slowing you down.
Well, I noticed because I downloaded Halo Infinite multiplayer, and I'm like, I'm only getting like 20 megabytes per second down. Not
Their
megabit,
side,
but
too.
megabytes. And then I
They're
realized...
serving as well.
Well, there's the server side as well, but then I realized I'm downloading it to a spinning disk, and I'm like, it can't write that fast.
Yeah,
So
like,
why
you're
would they
downloading
download that?
faster than your disk can write? And
Yeah,
and so it gets very hard to max out really high speed connections on one client. And the point of them really is that you can have that you're bit torrenting and you're streaming on here, and Yvonne is watching Netflix in the living room, and you've got a Windows update running in another computer, and it doesn't slow down.
Okay.
That's kind of why you're getting into gigabit speeds.
Okay. All right.
It's
Well,
you're probably
that
not
makes me
gonna
feel a
notice
lot better.
Massive difference on individual, like I'm downloading a thing on one computer.
I wish they wouldn't advertise it though as like this is 4 gigabit when technically they're not saying the wrong thing because it is 4 gigabit, but they make it seem like you're going to get gigabit speeds on your Wi-Fi devices, which I guess you could potentially, but that's not what it's meant for.
It supports speeds up to a gigabit. I wonder if they mean with like a wired backbone.
Well,
Or if
wired,
that's
yeah.
wireless speeds.
Wired, I'm getting 900 up and down. It's great. Like, it's awesome.
Same.
That whole thing with Frontier, oh, that was such a joke. Man. Shout out to Tom Ham for having his buddy come out and fix it on that Monday, because, ooh, that guy basically took everything out that the subcontractor put in and redid it all. And he was here for an hour, and it was done. So... and also, you asked me about smart garage door openers when we were at the food lab, and I installed that Miros garage door opener. It works with HomeKit, Alexa, cancel, Google, and I think that's it. The big difference between this one and the one I had before, had a wireless sensor that you put on your door that I think had an accelerometer in it that would tell the other device that was plugged in whether or not it was open or closed. This one has a wired one, and that made all the difference. This thing works fantastic. As soon as the door opens, it says the door is opened, door is closed. It never drops a signal. It's never once acted up. I have it hooked up on HomeKit where when I get home, it automatically opens. I just have to confirm on my Apple Watch. It works great. So,
Hey, more like home shit.
no,
Roasted 'em.
HomeKit's pretty solid.
Oh yeah, well, what if I called it home shit again?
But I have it working with the Echo devices as well. So,
Echo.
I haven't really started researching yet, but honestly, the local company that has a really high Yelp rating has been really responsive so far. I yelped the dude, and he's like, "Oh, I had a couple questions. Can I call you?" And like 2 hours later, I sent him my phone number. 20 minutes later, he calls me. He's going to be out tomorrow to measure the door and shit and give me quotes. But
There you go.
so are you going to get a roll-up aluminum door?
that's probably what I'm going to get. I want to get something insulated if possible. I'm really trying to insulate my house as much as I can.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because Genie makes this garage door opener that just attaches to the wall where the main rod is. So there's no chain, there's no belt. It's just on the wall next to the garage door, and it just turns the thing, the bar that has like the spring attached to it, if that makes any sense. And it's a smart garage door opener, so it just sits on the wall, and you don't have to change belts or anything. But it's like $500 for the garage door opener. So,
That seems high.
but
The ones I was looking at,
You
was
seem
like,
high.
Do
I
I?
recommend
I'm
a
drunk,
belt
sir.
drive. A belt drive. Don't get a chain drive or a screw drive. The belt drive works great. They're pretty affordable, and if you just get a dumb one, get that Miros thing. And
What is a garage door opener if not a sideways elevator? So I trust you.
Totally.
I mean, actually, the door
you said belt
operators
drive
we
was good?
have, yeah, the belt drive. It's like a toothed belt drive.
The recommended one I found is the Chamberlain. If you want a smart garage door opener.
Again, don't build the smartness into the garage door opener. Get something separate that if it fucks up in the future, you can just replace it. Because all that matters, like get a garage door opener that has basically it has one contact. So it's two wires. And if you short that contact, it tells it to open. Because all of these smart openers work on that. It's two wires that you parallel to that contact. And it's like you're pushing the button, except the little thing is pushing the button. Like it's making that contact. So
Oh, that's fair. Because I actually have with my ceiling fan that in my kitchen. I bought it like 4 years ago, and the little remote receiver fucking failed, so the whole thing just stopped working.
right,
So,
yeah,
and I fixed it. I like pulled it open and had to replace the receiver, but I'm like, God damn it! Like integrating this is just like they're not good at making this kind of shit.
yeah. The door opener I bought, I think it's a Genie. The Genie belt drive.
There's a Genie Stealth Drive one is the other recommended one I saw, but it also has smart shit. I don't know that they make one without.
You know what? Mine might have that built in as well. I just didn't use it. Yep, it does. Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, the model 7155. That's the one I have.
Okay, yeah, that's the recommended one I found on some fucking random Google shit I searched.
But you can just ignore the smart stuff and again buy a secondary device and use that. But for it being a garage door opener, it's great. I had a screw drive. It's like a long screw with a little thing on it. That thing sucks, and you got to constantly lube the screw, and it throws oil everywhere, and it's not good. The belt drive is quiet. Screw drive is loud.
I wonder if it'll my car has like fucking buttons that my understanding are for garage door openers, so I wonder if that would work. Not that I'm ever going to be able to park the fucking my daily in the garage. I have too many cars.
It says it's compatible with HomeLink and Car to You, which maybe that's like a car standard for garage door openers. I don't know.
Greg's playing fucking Forza.
Forza.
I'm going to get in and race him with something stupid.
Well, if you guys are going to stay on, I'm going to sign off. I got to clean my garage up.
Oh, it was just me and you guys. I'm not actually going to play. I just want to see if I can get the OBS to work in StreamYard.
Looks like it's working.
I can't get my face on screen though. That's what I'm.
Oh, you're trying to get OBS
fix.
to work. Yeah.
And it's like, no, because you're using your camera, blah blah blah. Like you can't do it.
Huh? Why?
It's so weird. I don't know. It's because StreamYard was taking my camera at the time I launched.
Got it. Yeah.
So anyway,
You can't use it at two places at once. In two places at once, I should say.
Exactly.
So a lot of these advertise battery backup. I guess they just have like a fucking battery that sits in the unit and charges when it's plugged in, and then that way if your power goes out, you can still open it once or something.
I can't answer your question on that. I did not even look into that.
Provides up to 50 cycles from the initial power failure. Really? Wow.
Do I have that?
On the 7155 TKV, the one I'm.
Let me go look at mine again. Hang on.
Does this work with a fucking Amazon key or whatever shit?
I just have the 7155. Yeah. So I would assume that's just going to be like a 12 volt, I don't know, 7 amp hour battery, that you have to change every year or so, and you're good for however long the battery lasts. It probably has like a trickle charge on the battery.
I mean, it makes sense, right? It's plugged in all the time, so it can just charge the battery, and then if you happen to get home when the power's out, you can still get your garage open.
Yeah, exactly. But the 7155, it worked great for me. So
that's good to know. It's cheaper than the other one too.
And then the Miros. Let me look at my orders.
I mean, they're honestly a lot more affordable than I thought they would be. $220. It's not that bad.
The thing I got was $50.
Well, for $220, it has all the integration and shit built in.
Yeah, well, if that works for you, then use it.
Yeah.
My thing was I wanted to work with HomeKit.
Oh yeah, this works with Alexa and Google. Which guess what? I have Google.
Yeah, and then with the Echo devices with this Miros thing, and I'm sure that's just how it is if you set it up with Echo devices, but you enter a PIN. So, it says, so-and-so, open my garage door. And it says, please say your PIN. And it's a 4-digit PIN. You say it, and then it opens the door. Or you can just bypass that altogether. And I think the idea is if someone's standing outside of your open window and you're not home, and they say, so-and-so, open my garage door, and then it opens the garage door, you're setting yourself up for a robbery. So that's why with HomeKit, when it senses I'm within, an eighth of a mile of my house, it says, do you want to open your garage door? And I have to confirm on my device. I wish I didn't have to, but there's been a couple times where I've driven by my house going to a different job, and it asked me to open my garage door. So if it didn't ask, it would have just opened my garage door because I'm driving past my house. So.
So it automatically does it because on the app?
Well, with HomeKit, it will not automatically open. Period.
Gotcha.
You have to confirm because they're thinking in that scenario where I'm driving by my house, forgetting that I have that turned on. As I drive by, the garage door opens, and now it's just open. But it also informs you when it opens, so you would still know, but still, it's yeah.
So my fancy luxury car from 2014 has little buttons on the top that I guess are garage door opener buttons. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to program it, but understanding is at some point I could, if I had an opener, I could theoretically program my car to open it.
Yeah.
Which I will, even though I'll never use it. Maybe I come home and I just want to put something in the garage or take something out. I can just do it with the car instead of the remote. Easy breezy.
I think the Miros thing might work with that Amazon service where you let them open your garage door to deliver things.
The key thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, the garage especially seems like a much better version of that. Like, opening your house door is a little bit skeevy. But your garage is like, okay, you have a camera there, like, it's your garage. It's not like they're going to go shit in your bed or whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's still weird, though, thinking someone has access to opening. Because I have expensive stuff in my garage still. It's like in storage, but it's still, if someone was in there for an hour, they could, find some stuff, I guess.
Oh, for an hour.
But, yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah. I got to reinstall my fucking ring because I got the, it was mounted on the wood around the door and they replaced that. So I'm going to try to remount it right and actually wire it back into the doorbell, which it hasn't been for a little while. It wasn't working last time I tried it.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
So I'm going to try to fix it. I got the parts for it. I just got to get off my ass and do it. I got the parts like a day ago, but
send a picture of your door. I want to see it.
Oh yeah.
Not right now, but when you get a chance.
I mean, what am I doing right now? Sarah's off hanging out with her friends, so I'm just kind of chilling like a villain.
Chilling like a motherfucking villain. I'm doing the Vocho thing.
The Vocho? My grandpa loved
See my
Vocho.
character as a chicken?
Mine is like a lady with purple hair and a robot arm.
Yeah, I originally.
Mine's
I think I still have a robot arm. You can't tell because the outfit.
Yeah, mine's a woman with pink hair, I think.
I sent to our Discord the door.
Oh my god, that looks so much better.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Okay, so one of the big things I'm excited about, because again, I'm really trying to insulate my house better because we live in a fucking desert hellscape that's only going to get worse. My old door, you could feel heat in the morning when because the morning sun hits my front door. Like when the sun comes up, the sun is shining right at my door. And at like 9 a.m., if you go up to that front door, like you're within 4 feet of it and you can feel heat radiating off of it.
It's like a plasma TV.
And so I actually got out my little IR heat probe. And on the inside during the day or during the morning when it was really hot, it was like 75, which is within a couple degrees of what the inside of the house temperature was. On the front door where it was directly getting sunlight, it was 144.
Wow.
And so but the inside you couldn't feel anything. The only heat that translated inside is there's a little metal bar in the middle. Mm-hmm. That metal bar is hot to the touch in the morning.
Yeah.
But the door itself is not. It doesn't radiate any of that heat in. So I'm very excited about this.
Did you take readings with the old door?
I didn't.
Oh. But still 75. I mean, yeah, it's
ambient temperature, best I can tell.
Was that old door just like solid wood?
Yeah.
Or okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just wood.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm excited for you, man.
Yeah, so I'm getting my doors done. I'm doing my pipes next. So I'm going to hit up the pipe guy in the next couple weeks and
some pipe.
Start getting that going. My pipe?
What side?
Is this the one you got to take the photo, Greg? Or is you just driving? There's a trick to that to get 3 stars.
Photograph the Vocho and the Baja.
Hey-o.
Nice recovery.
But yeah, they replaced the wood around the door, but they paint matched it so it looks like the same color. I don't love that color, but whatever. It's the color of the trim of the house until I repaint it.
Like the little pieces on the top, the vertical pieces. It matches that.
Yeah, well, all the trim on the house is that color.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they took a chip and paint matched it, and they gave me like a pint of it. So hopefully that's enough if I do the garage too.
Yeah, the paint matching thing works very well. We had to paint the trim on our house, and I took a piece of wood from our porch that doesn't see the sun, and it's identical. It's crazy how well the paint matching works these days. White paint in my house, like I took a piece from a wall that always sees the sun for like touch-up paint. Same thing. Looks great. Don't just buy white paint. Get a color match to whatever paint's in your house, because you will see a difference.
All right, boys. I'm gonna jam. There's some sort of art walk thing happening down the street.
Shout out to Kyle from the chat for the tier 1 sub on Twitch.
Beauty.
Going on 2 years, 23 months.
Wow. He's the OG.
You've been on Twitch for almost 2 years. That's crazy.
We did it. All right, gang. Yeah, I'm going to log off and go hang out with the kiddo.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Cheers, bro.
Bye, everybody.